Good morning everybody. Today we have another great adventure planned, probably the one that we've been looking forward to the most since we arrived to Guadalajara.
Welcome to the absolutely stunning Barranca de Huentitan, or Huentitan Canyon, just outside of Guadalajara this morning. And we're going to be doing like a 9 to 10 kilometer hike down into the valley, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is very steep. So it's not going to be fun coming back up.
No, I'm not looking forward to that part.
The Barranca de Huentitan, also known as the Barranca de Oblatos, is a massive canyon that runs along the northeastern edge of the municipality of Guadalajara, and we mean that quite literally. The city has gradually expanded right up to the very rim of the canyon over the years, with its name actually coming from the two towns Huentitan and Oblatos that border the canyon, but that have now been absorbed into the urban sprawl.
So the canyon is a very popular place with locals who come here to exercise and walk in the canyon, but you won't find too many foreign tourists here. It remains a bit of a hidden gem within the area and one well worth checking out. It's also considered a biogeographic corridor as you can find many types of vegetations there, and if you visit during the wet season, you'll be treated to a beautiful lush green valley. We visited during the start of the dry season, so the canyon was transitioning from green to brown, but was still an amazing sight to see.
So this is going to be our first real hike in Mexico, if you don't count the short waterfall walk we did in Tequila, which was very steep but very short. So it's going to be a good test of like how we deal with the altitude and the heat here in Mexico.
The city of Guadalajara is about 1600 meters above sea level. That was our starting point. But luckily we're actually descending about 500 meters to the bottom, but then we'll have to climb back up that 500 meters, which won't be fun.
No, we can already tell from coming down that it's going to be a hell of a climb back up again.
Yeah.
We're actually staying on the opposite side of the city to the canyon, and the city is massive, so it takes a long time to get here on public transport, even in a car. In fact, just getting anywhere in Guadalajara takes a long time.
It does.
So always allow more time than you need. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it for sunrise, which is a bit of a shame, but we are starting pretty early, so hopefully we'll miss the biggest heat in the day.
We're here in the middle of winter, but it's still in the middle of the day. It gets really hot and a bit unbearable, and especially if you're doing a hike, it can be pretty tough. We suggest starting a bit earlier rather than later in the day.
Oh, definitely. So one of our goals for here in Mexico, one of the things we really want to try and do is to show you guys some of the areas that are a little less explored and some of the things outside of like the beaches and the beach resorts and things like that. But in order to do that, we've got to do more trails and hikes a little bit like this one. Unlike other places in the world, like the US or Europe, it's a little bit trickier here in Mexico.
Since we arrived, it actually became apparent that locals don't just wander off hiking like we used to do in the UK, because hiking alone is not really considered safe for multiple reasons, like it can be wild animals, the the path is pretty hard to follow, or that you could run into some dangerous situation involving people.
So most hiking here is actually done in organised groups or with tours, either with a group of friends or you hire a tour guide to take you like safely up the mountain or down into the gorge, just because it is a little bit safer that way and a bit more secure when you're in a big group of people. So definitely something to keep in mind if you are coming out here to do some hiking. Having said all that about hiking in Mexico, the great thing about this hike is that it's so close to Guadalajara that it's very popular with a lot of locals and tourists. So it gets very busy, which adds like a level of security that you don't get when you're going out into this sort of the middle of nowhere. Plus they have like rangers patrolling around as well, which again just adds another level of safety. The path is pretty well maintained and pretty clear. It's very easy to follow. However, it's still best to do this hike in the morning and maybe even at a weekend, because there are way more people around than if you came in the weekday. Plus it gets a lot darker here in the gorge a little bit later in the day. Definitely not a place you want to be coming late afternoon or in the evening.
We have finally made it to the bottom of the canyon, and behind us is the Rio Grande de Santiago, and down here you can actually really appreciate the scale of this place. Like, this is massive. I feel very tiny compared to everything else around me.
I know, it's such an amazing place. And behind us you can see the Archdeacon Suspension Bridge, which has been here since about 1893 and is used to link some of the villages that are located here at the bottom of the canyon.
So I think we're going to enjoy our time down here a little bit, because the hardest part of the hike is yet to come, and we're not looking forward to that.
No, it's going to be one hell of a slog.
Yeah. What I like about this hike that they actually numbered every single corner, so there's about 64 corners as you come down. It's great because on the way back you can track your progress, which is going to be a long way up, so better get going.
So I've been in these black tracksuit bottoms pretty much the entire way so far, but it's not been too bad because it's been pretty shady, but it's now getting to like the hottest part of the day, and I think it's finally time to take them off. Much better. Halfway there.
And we've got a friend. It's good that the whole way up is pretty much in the shade, otherwise I would be probably still down there.
Yeah, we're really starting to feel the heat now. It's getting towards bang on midday. You can tell everybody's pretty much gone already. We've seen maybe like 5 other people on our way up. Hardly anyone going down. I think we've left it a little bit late, but it's okay. So 5 hours and 65 turns later, we've finally made it back to the top.
Yes.
And we are pretty exhausted. Like
No, not physically. I think it's more like the heat that impacted us more than the actual physical hike.
Yeah, and it's very dry as well, so
Yeah.
we're getting very thirsty very quickly. It's getting in our throats and
Definitely
everything.
gonna buy some cold water.
But before we head home, we've got one more place we want to show you that's supposed to have some more amazing views of the canyon. And the bonus about this one is that you don't actually have to do any hiking in order to see them.
short drive or an Uber ride away from the canyon hike is a beautiful viewpoint called Mirador Independencia Park.
Yeah, this place was built in the late 70s as sort of like a recreational and cultural and sports sort of facility for locals, as well as giving amazing views like you see behind us of Barranca de Huentitan. And it's definitely a much easier way to experience this beautiful canyon than hiking all the way down to the bottom like we did. But it's totally your choice. At least there's options for anybody, yeah. So overall, we've had a really amazing day today, hiking the Barranca Canyon and viewing it from here. Both options we can highly recommend. Definitely worth checking out if you are here in Guadalajara.
But now it's time to get home, maybe plan our next adventure, have some rest. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you like to. And we'll see you in our next adventure. Bye.
See you.